Hey everybody, it's David Grimion and Seth Bloom here at Bloom Legal, coming back with another podcast. We told y'all we were back to stay, and we're definitely here and committed to bring y'all new content every week or so. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about New Year's Eve in New Orleans and the New Year's time and things that go on here. And we get a lot of visitors from out of town during that time, whether you're in town for the New Year's Eve Dick Clark show, the Sugar Bowl. There's all kinds of events, or just you're here to have a good time with friends and family. All kinds of things that are going on in our city.
And I guess one of the cool things is, when you talk about New Year's destinations across the country, some people go to New York or Times Square, some people go to Los Angeles. People go to Miami to get away from the cold. There's a lot of different options out there, but New Orleans is a great option. It's always going to be warmer than it is up north, and usually we have pretty good weather, and it's a great place to bring in the new year. No one has better food, and I believe that.
Agreed.
No one has better food, especially per capita, but I think we can go toe-to-toe with even the big boys. So it's a great place to come. Hotels, there's a lot of fun, and we're going to talk about some safety issues today and just, some do's and don'ts around New Year's Eve. And, I do think that, New Year's Eve is a little bit dangerous, I've always thought,
Sure.
because a lot of people that don't tend to go out, go out. So, this may be a time of the year where you haven't had a lot of drinks for a while, and then all of a sudden you get crazy down in the quarter. You left a good dinner, and now you're drinking hand grenades.
Yeah, and it can be dangerous. But a lot of people tend to go all out, for New Year's Eve, especially if they're still in that holiday spirit, and people are ready to ring in the new year because maybe they've had a good year and they're ready to continue, or they haven't necessarily had the best year and they're ready for a better one. So,
I'm ready for a better one, Dave.
Agreed.
I'm ready for a better one.
Keep on.
Not professionally. But Bloom Legal, we've been doing great, and
Absolutely.
Moved offices last year, and we've got a really good team here right now. So we're happy towards.
It's been a great year for us here, and we appreciate all y'all out there who listen, and all of our clients and people who give us a call for making that a possibility.
Social media friends, people that left reviews, and everyone out there. So, I'm boring on New Year's Eve. I'm an older guy now, Dave. Sometimes I just cook a good dinner at home, maybe have one or two friends over, and then I'll get crazy, maybe go to a neighborhood watering hole just to watch it with some people. But sometimes no.
Sometimes you might find Seth down in the quarter. You never know.
Well, if there's a couple teams that I like to watch. If they happen to be in the Sugar Bowl, then I might go down to the quarter to enjoy some of that. It's an intenser holiday spirit. We can put it there. But, I guess, since we're down in the quarter now, Dave, we can talk a little bit about, what goes on in the French Quarter and how some safety tips and some of the cases we deal with, so some of the things to look forward to really not doing. I got a little tongue twisted there.
It happens, given all this new content.
Yeah, we're one take guys too. There's no real editing in this, and maybe we'll get some emails saying get an editor. And I know someone said we need to get better microphones, but maybe 2019 after we get
our New Year's resolution.
Exactly. We're gonna get a full. Let's just put in a whole radio studio here.
There you go. I think we can add it on maybe to the roof. We'll start broadcasting.
There's actually a radio station in this building.
Really?
But, maybe we can. They can let us moonlight in.
If we give them some good treats or something for Christmas, maybe we can get some time.
Absolutely. How did your Christmas tree look this year, by the way, Dave?
Christmas tree looks great. Unfortunately,
you don't get a plastic one, do you?
No. I gotta go real. It's not great for my allergies, but I'll suck it up for the holidays because I grew up with the real one. But unfortunately, yesterday I came home and my dog had decided that she wanted to redecorate the tree. So had a few ornaments, and thankfully she chewed through one of the light strands, but thankfully the tree was not on because that could have been dangerous. But got to go get some new lights today and fix it back up. But it's definitely been a holiday spirit at the Grimion house.
I'm having one of those holidays where I hadn't pulled out my, I hadn't had a Christmas tree or a holiday bush, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I do love a Christmas tree, and I hadn't had one in my house in 4 or 5 years just because of traveling or going to other families' events that we knew we were having their dinners at. But I did it this year.
Yeah.
I did it this year, not too big, about 6 feet.
6 feet, that's about
That's
where I'm
6
at.
feet. In the old days, we'd go double digits.
Yeah.
But it's
There's nothing better than walking in and just get the fresh tree smell. It's hard to beat.
And I have a fence, so my dogs can't get to it.
Right.
But the real bummer for Christmas was that I must have during my move misplaced some of my favorite ornaments. So I had to borrow ornaments, but we've tracked them down, and they're not going to make them. They're not going to make them for this holiday season. But
We'll have them for next year.
I do know where they are, and they were left in, let's just say, storage. But we've located them, and my award-winning Saints and University of Florida football.
We still like you anyway.
Yeah, Christmas ornaments are intact, and they will be back for Christmas 2019.
Speaking of the Saints, 12 and 2.
12 and 2. 12 and 2.
Unbelievable so far.
New Orleans Saints, and that's going to be a fun time. And that is when, if you ever wanted to, I want to get back to Crimes in French Quarter, but
yeah.
and they're all related.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if there's ever an amplification of New Year's and Christmas and that entire holiday season, it's when the Saints are winning. And let me tell you, there's a December 30th, so that we have a
Panthers?
Yeah, we have a Sunday game this Sunday in the middle of everything, and looking really good at home against the Steelers.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough game.
Classic
travel well.
cross-league matchup there.
Yeah.
The Steelers are on the hunt to get into the playoffs.
They are.
It's certainly the
We're
Steel.
trying to lock up home field.
The Steel Army will come out, like Dallas and some of the national teams. Everyone loves it.
We love the Steelers fans coming down, but Saints fans don't sell them your ticket.
And I think since the old Terry Bradshaw days, there's still a few Steeler fans nestled around the state of Louisiana.
I think so.
Hometown boy.
Yeah.
So I'm dating myself now, talking about Terry Bradshaw, but he's pretty relevant. I mean,
Yeah,
he's on TV. He's on TV a lot, and he's a fun guy. So Saints looking like we may have some, knock on wood, playoff games coming up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, we're in the playoffs already.
We'll get at least one.
We'll get at least one, but
Hoping for more.
I'm hoping it's like the old days, and I don't know. I didn't read the newspaper or blog, but have we locked up the entire? I think we need one more game to lock up the entire NFC.
Exactly.
So that no one.
We need to win one of the next two. Hopefully we finish off with the Steelers and rest our guys.
Right. So this year we would, and then we don't. And the Saints may have had at least one more title appearance and Super Bowl appearance, championship appearance and Super Bowl appearance, or two, if they had blown a couple games at the end of the years a few times during the Drew Brees era. I think we'd have another Super Bowl too if we had that home field advantage.
agree.
And the year we won it, we had it. I remember being at the games, and it was.
That dome makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference, other than the first game against Tampa. So
Yeah.
I don't know what
We don't want to
happened
talk about that.
We don't want to talk about that.
Fitzmagic was on fire.
We had to work out some kinks with the team, but so that's going to be all going on, and again, New Year's Day. What do y'all do for New Year's Day? You got you do black eyed peas and
and cabbage rolls, and got to do all that. Go down to the family and spend a good time. This year, actually, my family's doing that. Our Christmas
and is
on
that
New Year's.
I don't know. I mean,
Celebrate.
I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida, and I don't remember. I don't think we did the black eyed peas and all that stuff on New Year's. Is that a
Really?
Louisiana thing, or maybe it's like a deep Southern
See, I always
thing?
thought it was an everywhere thing, but I guess not. Because I recently have heard that I think it's a
I don't
Louisiana
know.
or maybe a coast or
Maybe
deep
someone.
south.
Here's our question to our audience. Maybe someone can email us or let us know. What are some of your regional dishes?
All of our national listeners, let us know what you do in your home state.
Exactly. What do you do in your home states for New Year's Day? Maybe you just sleep in after all those glasses
After
of
that
champagne.
Sugar Bowl the night before.
All those bubbles. So getting to the Sugar Bowl, wow, what a matchup this year. I know Georgia is away from where they wanted to be. I know they wanted to make the Final Four, but University of Georgia is always welcome here.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring a lot of people. And then playing
Texas.
Texas. Wow, what great regional matchups.
For sure.
The Sugar Bowl, I know the Sugar Bowl committee and everyone here in New Orleans is excited to have those two teams. And I guess maybe we could...
The French Quarter will be rocking.
The French Quarter will be rocking. And I guess, also one of the great things about going to see a bowl game in New Orleans is from just about any place downtown or in the greater New Orleans area, you can walk there in 15 or 20 minutes or take a car for 10 minutes. So you're not having to drive, you're not in Phoenix and having to drive, an hour to Glendale or wherever they play.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these cities, it's really far.
far
It's
out.
inconvenience. I went to a game, and it was a while.
Yeah.
We went to the Giants game this year, and there was
It's out in New Jersey, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, there was buses and cars
Yeah.
and Ubers and subways, and it was like, I mean, it was
No room in the city, I guess, to build a new stadium.
So these are that. But what about when these Texas Longhorns, hook 'em horns?
Getting a little argument down with the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, what happens when they get a little argument with UGA? UGA, sipping dogs.
Hopefully no fights ensue, or there's not any kind of disturbing of the peace, or
That's right.
public drunkenness down in the French Quarter, which are common things that we see, batteries, things of that nature. And a lot of these crimes tend to be, on the misdemeanor side, but they're still serious,
Well,
they still have real
I want to correct you, Dave, because I've done a lot of, I've had a lot of, Georgia fans over the years, a couple Texas fans, and they've had some good right hooks.
Yeah.
So sometimes when they connect
That's
on these
true.
batteries, if talk about a little bit, when you punch someone at a bar, and in the old days they'd have a shiner and they go home, put some ice on it, maybe they get a battery charge. These days, if someone hits you in the face, someone kicks you,
If you break something or hurt them bad enough, it can be a felony.
and that could be a felony battery. So you just have to keep
Another
that.
thing we see a lot is, drug possession. Pretty much possession of any drug is, other than marijuana in Louisiana, at least your first and second offense, is going to be a felony.
Right,
So,
and just to go on that marijuana thing, because I know we have a lot of tourists and a lot of great states like Colorado, California, and so
Sure.
on, Washington, marijuana is recreationally legal. It's not
Not
here.
here.
Not here. You'll get a misdemeanor summons. You could potentially get arrested, and it's an enhanceable offense here. So if you got a couple of them, it could turn into a felony, but. Let's just hope that's not going to happen.
Sure.
It basically is just vaping and smoking on the streets. Is it's going to be out there.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind, it's illegal. You can, if there's not a bigger problem, a police officer could write you a ticket for it, and it's not a civil penalty. It is a criminal penalty.
criminal.
So, and you can call us over at Bloom Legal, and we'll try to minimize it. But just be aware of that it's not legal to travel here with it. It's not here to use it. We actually do have medical marijuana in Louisiana, but it's
Hasn't been implemented really yet.
it kind of is now implemented, but it is very, very restricted. So it's not going to be the kind of medical
Only in
marijuana.
pill and oil form, I believe, and not smoking form.
And it's
So-
very regulated. So no one here, so if in fact you are in Louisiana and you're a citizen, you're a resident, but I think very few residents actually have that now, and certainly don't mistake that as some sort of a, way
Yeah,
around it.
when people get down here and they start having a good time and may have had a few beers or cocktails, and they want to continue the fun.
And you know what? The marijuana, like you said, I'm not that worried about it even for tickets and stuff. But what I see a lot of every holiday is, people are buying the harder drugs, and there are people out. It's just like New Orleans is a tourist town, so just like anywhere in any tourist town. Tourists that come here to party, there's a market
Yeah.
for drugs and alcohol, and there are people that are in the French Quarter around there, and they're going to try to sell you
what may or may not be.
what may or may not be drugs. So you're really not only risking putting whatever's in that they're selling you in your body, but at the same time, it could be an undercover police officer, it could be a sting, it could be someone watching you, or it could just be extraordinarily dangerous. The French Quarter is relatively safe,
Sure.
but a drug deal goes down wrong every once in a while, and bang bang, just like any other big American city.
Yeah, absolutely, and I guess a lot of people do hear sometimes about crime or things that we may have in our city, and they may feel that they're going to come here from, whether they're from Georgia, Texas,
I know where you're going with this.
And,
I know where you're going with this, I think.
and they end up bringing a concealed carry along with them, or their gun, and bringing around with them in the French Quarter. That is not legal if you bring that into a bar.
Even if you have reciprocity with your gun permit, no gun permit, I don't know what your state is, but you can't go into a place that's primarily alcohol carrying a concealed weapon. So you can go into a restaurant that has a bar, but if you're at the, Cat's Meow,
Trying to sing a little karaoke for a few hours.
yeah, your friends are doing, some
Pour
favorite...
some sugar on me or something
Right,
like that.
yep, right, some 80s tunes. We know how or Texas, they might
Yeah.
be doing,
Little George Strait.
Little George Strait could go a little country. Those Georgia people go a little country too, you know. So
But yeah, do not bring your concealed carry into a bar because that can
Yeah, I
result
mean-
in an arrest.
carrying a gun around the French Quarter probably isn't a good idea. It's probably a way better idea to just be smart and be safe and travel with people and not walk to the fringes of things. You're pretty much safe in a lot of the places.
Stay-
You know what concerns me though? A lot of people with this Airbnb stuff, they Airbnb these places. I mean, there's a reason people stay at hotels. Hotels have security. Hotels, and I'm not anti-Airbnb necessarily, but you know, people have, you know, for tourists, for safety. Sometimes people don't know where these Airbnbs are.
They may look like a beautiful home that was redone, and it might be, but it could be in an area that may not be the safest. So
Right, and it could say a 20-minute or a, you know, a 3/4 mile walk to Bourbon Street, but that could be in an area that's
you don't
really
want to walk
good
3/4 of a mile.
or really bad. So just take that into consideration. Maybe try to find a local to cross-reference that. And I guess, you know, just when you're down there, you know, we represent people all the time with guns in bars. You know, buying you know, baggies of drugs from undercover.
And plainclothes officers and undercover will be out.
Under 21, this is a big one. All you Georgia and Texas fans that are coming in and are minors, you're not allowed to drink. This isn't the 80s anymore. You can't drink. So you have to be diligent about that. There are undercovers that will walk up to you and ask you if you're 21. You can get arrested for fake identification. So you just really have to be careful out there and, you know, stay safe and have a good time. And
And there's a police precinct a block over from Bourbon Street. So
Right.
they are out, and they will sometimes just stand in front of there and watch people walk by and ask for an ID.
they'll have all
Make
those
sure you're
Louisiana
21.
and they'll have all those Louisiana State Troopers around there too.
Sure, they'll be out in force as well.
That's a tough group of guys and gals.
They are.
It really is. So, you know, the one thing I know you mentioned at the beginning, but one of the celebrations that kind of ties into all the Sugar Bowl excitement of New Year's is the Dick Clark's New Year's.
Sure. Don Lemon will be back in town.
Don Lemon and CNN. So what it is, if you don't know about this, is a couple years ago over at Solomon Group, they worked with the Dick Clark people, and they brought in, with the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana, all were big contributors to this. But they brought in this amazing event, just like, you know, Anderson Cooper and Dick Clark. Dick Clark used to do it, and it's still Dick Clark Productions do the Apple Drop in New York City. But, you know, they left out the Central Market. You know, we didn't want to celebrate at 11, do you?
No, I want to wait till midnight, you know?
All right, you want to wait till midnight. So now, for the entire Central Market of the United States, we have what do they drop, the Florida Lee?
I think it's a Florida Lee.
They drop a Florida Lee.
It's not a bowl of gumbo or anything, is it?
No, it's not a bowl of gumbo. And they have a really nice concert series down there, and it's a really fun event. It's right on the river. It's at Waldenburg Park. And it's really a nice event, and it just adds another element to New Orleans. And and this isn't just, I know we talk a lot about tourists, but, you know, get out of your house in Harahand or in Metairie and
go down there, and it's I believe free to go down there and listen to some of the music.
It's a free concert. You're going to see great. And look, if you're not there or you're at a restaurant or you go home early, turn it on TV. It's a cool thing to see.
It brings, you know, a lot of national attention to New Orleans, which we always love people to see our city. So.
Right. And I think the mayor is going to speak at that nationally, and as well as the lieutenant governor.
Gotcha.
So it should be an interesting time down there. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a great event that they've added to this.
Did a great job helping to get that here.
Absolutely. And there's also the Sugar Bowl has its own concert series too. And it's literally right next to all that. So, I mean, it's really right there on Decatur Street. There's really a lot going on, really a lot of good times.
There'll be a beautiful fireworks display as well. So.
And also, there is like I don't know, you probably know about this, but, you know, there's that old, it still does happen, but there was a tradition in New Orleans at midnight to shoot a gun up in the air.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it still happens. Maybe not as prevalent as it used to be.
It still happens, and I know people that have got a ricochet bullet hit them in the French Quarter. So I don't want to create any paranoia.
Sure.
But I tell you what, I usually am not on the street.
I usually go inside around midnight.
I go inside around midnight to about 12:15 because, you know, every cowboy out there that wants to shoot their gun off at midnight, you know, when those bullets go up,
they got to come down.
They got to come down, and I don't know that they're strategically thinking about that. But we just wanted to wish everyone a very happy New Year's. We're excited about 2019 here at Bloom Legal. Give us a call anytime, 504-599-9997. Check us out on bloomlegal.com. We got social media out there, Facebook, Twitter. We're glad to be back on here doing regular podcasts. David, anything else? Just want to say goodbye?
I think just, everyone stay safe out there. Enjoy your New Year's and your holidays with your friends and family. And we look forward to talking with y'all again next year.
Take care.